There's complexity in all of that. They tried to map the interrelationships between all those risks. I've never tried to make sense of this diagram, but you know, it just shows. You know, I think Rufus Black really eloquently introduced the concept of complexity and the world in which we operate. And what that says is if you manage one of those risks, it will affect the others. Or if one of those risks eventuate, it will actually change the dynamic of others. And there's just phenomenal stuff in that. The risk profession doesn't know how to deal with that, or at least not people I've met. And we're muddling our way through that now. So it's a very challenging time to lead. The underlying condition, of course, is the world is complex and changing more rapidly, potentially in exponential and unusual ways as opposed to steady and predictable ways. So a time of great uncertainty. We end up with unintended consequences. This is the same chart, but they've changed the axis. So instead of capital, GDP, or economic terms, they've changed that axis to millions of people who may die. I'm actually quite perturbed and disturbed actually about the one I've circled there, number one. What that graph is saying is there is a 5 to 10% chance that more than 1 million people will die as a result of food price volatility. And that it raises a whole range of questions of what's our responsibility for that? Are we part of the cause of that? What does that mean? And some of the other things that come out, how are those interlinked and how does that all work? Very confronting information. I guess lastly, I'm just to try and tie in with what Minister Smith was saying. Risk has two dimensions. I think we're in a paradigm of risk reduction. And I think the way that we structure ourselves is that risks are things to be managed. Risks are things to be mitigated. Risks are things to be reduced. In times of change and complexity, I think we need to allow ourselves permission to take risks. And I don't know we're particularly good at doing that. Institutionally, I don't believe we're very good at doing that. And in fact, I think institutionally we tend to create organisations that seek to minimise and avoid risk rather than take risk. The danger of that, of course, is we just atrophy and disappear. Or that, you know, we have situations like we've seen in the leadership challenge of our time. So I guess I might leave it, and I just might repeat something that Minister Smith said. The only people who aren't criticised are the ones who aren't doing anything. And the real leadership challenge, as I see, is the ability to allow people to fail regularly, allow people to take some courageous decisions. And the question, I guess, that I might have for this group, and also I'll be taking away myself, is do we create institutions that allow that? And in the leaders that we develop, do we give them permission and the ability to do that? Thank you very much.